You're listening to Analog Assault, a video game podcast by Mulehorn Gaming.
Welcome to the Analog Assault Podcast, your destination for video game talk, movies, and large explosions. I'm Wade, also known as Mulehorn117, and tonight we're on episode 25. And I have with me tonight my bro, Circuit.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And returning from the fold tonight, former co-host Thaddeus Prime.
Hey, I got one question for you.
Yes?
What time is it?
It's prime time.
You know it, man.
Oh, yeah.
What's
It's
up,
good to be
fellas?
back, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man.
The seat's been cold. Now the seat's hot again.
Hot
Yeah.
seat. In the hot
Hot
seat
seat.
again.
Hot seat again.
Yep.
Well,
There
dude,
you go.
thanks for filling in for Dirty Bombs this week.
Hey, man. Someone's got to make that picture look a little better. I mean, I love you, Dirty.
Yeah.
I miss you already.
Yeah. Well, fellas, we are live on Mixer at mixer.com/Mulehorn Gaming every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also want to mention to check out our cool friends and fellow teammates, the Shed Team, over at theshedteam.com. So, guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got some
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves stuff, man.
Stuffs.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that, how's y'all's weeks been, man? What y'all been playing?
Pirate's Life for me.
Arr.
Arr. Yeah. Yeah, it's a sea and it is full of the thieves.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there is.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I really can't dig in too much without spoiling the rest of the podcast, but it's been mostly Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
A little Division. A little bit of the Division.
Yeah.
Yeah. And realizing that it's been a long time since I've played, or they made the game a little bit more difficult. Because leveling up
It could be both.
Well, didn't
30
you start over? Or are you kind of under leveled?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I am underleveled, but playing some of the activities around my level, I'm getting like in full groups too. Just
Yeah.
we'll wipe, and I'm like, is the number on this wrong? Is the suggested level wrong, or am I sucking? You
Yeah.
know? It's been a while. It's tough to defend the mean streets of New York.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Yeah. But does it feel good to dive back into it?
Yeah. I mean, it's still a pretty good feeling game. It's still fun to play, fun to shoot around, and I haven't messed with the all the perks and skills and min-maxing and all that counting crap. I'm hoping that I can just play it cash, because really I'm not trying to make a spreadsheet.
I feel you on that one, man. I'm just
Yeah.
not. Yeah. I'm
I'm not about
gonna-
that life.
I'm not about that spreadsheet life.
I like spreadsheets, but I don't need to do a spreadsheet to know how to have fun.
To play a video
It's a
game.
game. Like, I've come pretty close to it with like Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
fortunately, I just played it for 2 years and I know enough.
Yeah.
I don't need a spreadsheet. But still, I feel like I don't know. If it gets to that point, I'm gonna drop it again.
Yeah. I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah.
So, Mr. T Prime, bro, I mean, it's been ages. But what
Yeah,
have you,
it's been
what
a
have
few
you been
moons.
playing?
Up until Sea of Thieves came out, it was catching up on those Xbox exclusives that I missed out on. The Nathan
Mhm.
Drake series. I'm about halfway through number 3.
Mhm.
It's pretty awesome. But let me tell you, Sea of Thieves, it surprised me. With the betas and alphas I played in, I was kind of like, yeah, man, it's a cool
Yeah.
concept, it's fun. The full game has been a lot of fun. Played with Scarecrow and Wolfmaster, Rayman, and a little bit of Jumbaloo last night, and you Jumbaloo, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and even the point where Scarecrow, pretty much friendly fires me with an exploding chest, that's fun too. And we had it's just a blast, it's roaming the seas, shooting folks, slashing skeletons,
Yeah.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
It's really a game made for the shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's hating on it being solo. Maybe that's not the best way to go, but I want to give it a solo run pretty soon just to see how it plays on my own downtime. But it
It's
is
possible.
definitely a party game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll dive into that quite a bit actually on the podcast, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to talk about it as well because I got some thoughts I've been stewing on all week, especially
There's
with
a lot of ideas, man. A lot
You
of
better
ideas
get it
floating
out, Neil,
around
because
out there.
whenever you stew, you sweat.
no, dude. Yeah.
So what type of stew are you?
What the, a hot stew.
Are we talking like menudo,
Yeah, it's kind of like poo.
Sure.
pozole,
A little bit
Sure.
of lentil,
beef stew?
I'm a beefy stew.
Yeah.
steak
All
and
right.
taters.
Steak and taters. I'm all taters. Yeah.
More of a vichyssoise.
You know, man, for me, my week has been good. It's been pretty low key. I've actually played a lot of Sea of Thieves. I got sick earlier this week, like a little stomach bug. So I got to play a lot of Sea of Thieves solo. So I'll jump into that.
So you were stewing for a while.
I was stewing for sure, man.
Well, good.
I also was playing a little bit of Overwatch, so that was fun, man. I got to do a little bit of that. I played, gosh, what else did I do? I think that was about it. This week. So, and PUBG. I did play some PUBG.
Ah, yeah.
Thank you, Underdog in
Yeah,
chat.
you and your driving skills.
Yes, I have smooth driving skills, man.
I don't know.
Did you try that on mobile yet?
I haven't tried it on mobile yet. I don't like playing on mobile that much. I mean, about the
Yeah.
only game I play on mobile is Galaxy of Heroes, the Star Wars
Mm.
game. So,
Well, it works really well on mobile. PUBG is a game that's not made for it. I actually played my first PUBG match the other day, and it was on mobile.
yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of fun. Admittedly, I did try to sync my Xbox One controller to my phone through Bluetooth so that I could use it.
How did that work?
The analog sticks work, but the buttons don't, so you have to use some other sort of app or software. Like, I think you probably have to root your phone. And if someone else knows another way, let me know. But you got to set up screen mapping, and anyways, the analog sticks worked, the buttons didn't, so I had a fun time standing there or waiting to launch out of the plane trying to get my
Yeah.
controller unpaired and go back to the touch controls and figure out how those worked. I
Mhm.
made number 14 though,
Nice, man.
which is not
Not too
bad.
shabby.
But I also learned that the mobile version of PUBG has bots to replace people with crappy connections or
Oh.
to fill out
Oh,
matches.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So I may have been the 14th best person there out of 14 people.
Yeah.
Right? I could have been last place, but beat the bots. It's hard to say, but check it out.
Yeah. Is it free?
It is free.
How much of a battery drain is that?
I don't know. I was plugged in when I was playing it.
There you go.
Probably a lot though.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, there's a movie about that coming out. Imagining.
Oh,
Imagine.
Oh.
If you could only imagine.
Gotcha,
Sorry.
gotcha. Number 3 in the box office. Well, it was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
Anyways.
back to my week.
Yeah.
I've also been pretty busy chatting it up with our bros, the Nerd Foo, which if you haven't checked out their podcast, check them out. They cover just about everything when it comes to the nerd realm. A bunch of really cool bros over there, Steve and Sully. Go check them out. And also our bros, 3 Beers and a Mic. We've actually been coordinating a lot with. We got this thing coming up in May in Houston called Comic Palooza, and we're actually going to be on a podcast panel there. So, dude, it's going to be fun. We've been, man, just talking to people to get stuff for giveaways and things like that. So I'm pretty excited. And we actually found out we got 2 things on the list for giveaways. So pretty stoked, man. More stay tuned though. We got more details for that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much been my week. Nothing special. Just a little bit of Sea of Thieves.
No, Mule, you are something special.
Oh, thank you, Thaddeus.
Just saying.
Oh,
So
thank
Houston, gird your loins.
you. We're coming for
The
you.
mule bags are coming.
Yeah. So I haven't figured out anything yet, like hotel, like if I'm going to stay overnight, what I'm going to do. I may just sleep in my truck. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a blow mattress. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I may have to do that, T Prime. I may have to crash at your place, man.
I gotta clean my place up. No, that's
Yeah.
fine.
So, fellas, hey, if you like our podcast and our website content, then consider being a supporter. Head over to patreon.com/Mulehorn Gaming to get all the details. We got lots of cool stuff over there. Lots of really cool supporters. That's how we do our giveaways. That's how we do a lot of cool stuff on our website. So go check that out. So, guys, tonight we are talking Sea of Thieves. It's finally here after I don't know how many betas. I mean,
How many
6?
years? How many E3s?
10?
2 years.
Alphas? Betas?
Yeah. It's been
Is it
like
2
2
years?
years. Almost 2 years.
That does not feel like 2 years.
It doesn't, right? Like, I still remember when we had Joe on, like, and it felt like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I
So-
think time as you get older is a funnel, and it just spins faster and faster down the toilet of
It's
death.
very true.
Just
Yeah.
goes faster and faster, man.
Right? So I want to get y'all's initial thoughts and, like, just your general review of what you've played of the game so far. So give it to me.
I go,
Uh-huh,
go for it.
uh-huh.
You got it.
Caw-caw! Who's first?
Yeah, so, okay, Sea of Thieves, there's a lot of topics we are going to end up getting into in this podcast, and so without really stepping on the other subject's toes too much, I do enjoy it. I think there's a lot of validity in the complaints I'm seeing out there,
Yeah.
but I also think there's a lot of issue with people's perspective on the
Yep.
game is one way that I might put it. And also, you know, it boils down to the way people bought the game, the way they play it, the way they expected it to come out. There's a lot of, it's a multifaceted thing we're looking at here. Overall, I like it. I think solo queue is tough, but if you're brave and sneaky, you can do it. And if you get into a big group, it is lots of fun. And honestly, don't even pretend to be nice to anybody else. If they're not on your crew, they're meat.
Yeah.
Okay? They're waiting to feed sharks, and you should sink their boat immediately and take their stuff. Because the game is called Sea of Thieves, people.
I mean, how else can you be a pirate on the open seas?
Yeah, and I get it. The solo stuff, it's possible, it's doable, but I think that you probably need to stick to group play for a while until you really get the game down and mechanics and see how other people are around you and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, tentatively, I'm gonna give it the nice guy 7.5 for right now. And that's not
Oh.
with a lot of hours into the game, and obviously they haven't done really any updates
Yeah.
either. Not much of them.
Yeah. T Prime, what are your
Well,
initial
they
thoughts?
did have one update. It was the
Right.
day one patch, which was
Yeah.
actually literally a patch with a number 1 on it.
That
Yeah.
was pretty.
Yeah.
pretty
That was pretty
that was pretty
clever.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I have only put one night's worth, maybe 3 hours into it. But in that 3 hours, I had a blast. You're right. You see a ship, and they're close by. You know,
Yeah.
there's no peace flag or
Right.
cannons up, and we're not gonna fire. No, that doesn't
No.
work. You shoot first and ask
Yeah.
questions later,
Yeah.
or shoot first and take loot later.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was really a blast. You know, thankfully Scarecrow put some time into it. He knew what he's doing and kind of schooling us a little bit. But you know, searching on the islands was pretty fun. Taking out, trying to take out the skull fort in the middle of the sea was pretty fun.
Mhm.
It's just a beautiful game to, you can just literally get lost into it, and that's kind of why I want to do this. I want to lost and just see
Yep,
where the boat
explore.
takes me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with all that, I can kind of see where some of the people's complaints may be of oh, there's not enough content. Well, we haven't seen any more, content yet.
Yeah.
They're pretty been transparent with what they have right now.
Yeah.
More stuff's coming. But I hear there's secret missions and all kinds of stuff out there, but to me, it all boils down to party play with friends.
Mhm.
That's how we've done it in our clan and group since day one. Is playing together, we have the most fun. I'm filthy casual. I love my single player games, but when I'm in a party, I let loose, have fun, get crazy,
Yeah.
and the games that enable that are some of the best.
The shenanigans are real, man.
Yeah, man.
They're real.
Especially if you
Yeah.
get people that we've played together long enough, we can literally poke fun and do
Mhm.
things that allow us to do that in the game. It's great.
Yep. Yeah.
Troll each other for fun.
For fun. It's all fun.
Whether it be jumping towers in Destiny or, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But rating wise, I gotta step up a little above Circuit. I'm gonna give it a 7.6
Oh, okay.
That's
or
all,
maybe 7.8.
That's still pretty good, man.
4 hours. That's all I put into it.
Yeah.
I gotta just really echo everything you guys are saying. It's pretty much the same thing for me, which is I've had a ton of fun. Just a lot of shenanigans. Even solo, I played like almost 2 days solo, and I enjoy it. And I caught myself a lot of the times just looking at the horizon, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a foreign boy in me, but I'm just sitting there and I was just like, man, that sunset's so pretty.
That's pretty.
That's so pretty, man. You see that sunset there, man? I tell you what, that's so pretty. I can just drink
Well,
sweet
there's
tea.
that too.
I just drink a sweet tea and sit here on this ship and then go fishing. so yeah, I mean, I've been really enjoying it. I felt very immersed in the game when I have played it. Not to mention that playing it at max settings on my PC, it's just, dude, I'm
Good-looking
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
I'm telling you, it looks incredible. I love it. I love the art style. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into this more, but I think if I had to give it a ranking right now, I would probably say, and keep this as a frame of reference for the things we'll talk about in a second here, I would give it an 8. And the reason I would give it an 8 is, and we'll get into this more, is because of the way it's built and the bones that it has.
The bones, you
The
say.
bones. Yeah, and I can see where they're going with this. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit more in a little second here. But
Yeah.
So they also said there was over 1 million players logging in 48 hours.
Wow. Nice.
1 freaking million players. Like, that's insane.
It's kind of a high number.
That's amazingly high number in 48 hours to
sounds
have
good.
that many people logging in. I mean,
Despite their issues too.
yeah, I mean, it explains why I couldn't get in like a few times with the servers. It's like, dude,
They were literally melting.
Get us more server. I think it was a Rayman. It was like, Microsoft has these trucks. They just back them up when they need more servers. They're just
Yeah.
saying
Like,
right now, back them
fine.
up.
This
Back
is
'em up.
fine.
Yeah. This is fine. We're fine. We're good. Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah. So overall, 1 million players. Apparently it sounds like we had some fun. Do you think it's a $60 title?
I think it can be.
Perfect.
I think that where it stands right now, it's a $60 promise with probably a $30 or $40 sandbox. And I think that before long, we're all going to be craving the content that would substantiate the other $20, $30.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not to say that it's not worth $60. To me, that might make a difference because I am very story focused. I like all of that stuff, but I also know that I'm playing it free right now on a 14-day trial of Game Pass, and after
Heyo.
that's over, it'll be $10.
Hells yeah.
And so, that's not really an issue for me.
Yeah.
The
Right.
game didn't cost $60 for me, and nobody had to pay $60. You all could have canceled your pre-orders when they made that announcement.
Yep.
So if you held true, good job. Thanks for supporting Rare and MSoft, as we like to say in chat. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's screaming $60.
Yeah. Thaddeus, thoughts on that?
I can feel you too. I like how you said it. It's a $60 potential.
Mhm.
Does that mean they've released only part of it? No. I think it goes along with their plan of how the game's going to roll out.
Oh, part of okay. I see what you're
Yeah,
doing.
definitely not 10% as some places and people have said. But we can get
We're
to that
fixing to
later.
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That pot's about to boil right now.
Right. But for what it is, and for the type of game I expected, and as they have been transparent about, I'm with you on it's about the $40 range
Mhm.
initial value, and I'm really eager to see how it fills in the gaps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to be the odd man out here, and I'm going to lead into my next point here. And if you're in our Discord, you know I said that I think this game is a game changer, and I'm going to explain why now. So I believe it is a $60 value. The reason why I say that is because this game is different than any other game you played in the sense that it changes the way you play as a gamer. We've been conditioned, I feel like, as gamers to play a certain way where it's all just about gameplay. And I feel like with Sea of Thieves, the reason why it's a game changer for me is because it enables playing together rather than just gameplay. So,
Yeah.
what I mean by that is think of it as a kid, right? You go on the playground and you have all this playground equipment and you can make the game however you want it. Like, do you want to play like monkey in the middle? Do you want to play like, oh, we're on the swing set and the floor is lava? Like, they just enable you to play how you want to play,
Right.
make it what you want to make it. So I can see how some people are like, oh, this game sucks. Got played the solo. I got griefed, blah, blah, blah. Because, yeah,
It
that can
happens.
happen, you know, but also you can make it better. Call up some bros, get in Discord, jump into LFG, get some guys you know and play. And I guarantee you it will be way more fun because you'll sit there on the boat making fun of each other dancing or because one pirate's fat or one has a peg leg or like you're drunk and you're falling out of the boat as you're driving, you know, it's like, you know, so for me,
In a non-ironic way, comparing it to a sandbox is really the best thing.
yeah. I mean, it's a game changer, and it's kind of as you guys are saying in chat as well. It's like it's a big change for the way that
Yeah.
we've just been conditioned as gamers to play because we're used to just saying, okay, well, show me all this immersion, show me all this story, and then I'll focus on the gameplay. When this is more like, here's a huge sandbox, play, have fun.
And I want to be fair and say we've been awful critical of a lot of games for not having enough story content, even when they did have already more than what Sea of Thieves has, which is
Huh.
not much, you know. And I'll be the first to nip that in the bud because my thing is Sea of Thieves never participated in false advertisement of what
Mm-hmm.
their product was going to be. They guessed and they said, we hope this, we hope that. But look, that beta, that alpha, it's been open to basically anybody who just wished they could be part of it. You could have checked it out, and there was nothing deceptive
Yeah.
about what the game was going to be when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so you kind of got to blame yourself a little bit if it
Yeah.
seems a little empty because nothing changed. Right?
Right.
They have added stuff since the last time I played the beta. There's more stuff in it for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, the reputation, people weren't even there the last time I played it.
Yeah.
Where someone very wise just put expectations versus entitlement.
Yeah. Jumbaloo in chat. That's on point. Yeah.
See, and I want to be careful throwing around the word entitlement because it's almost a buzzword. Because look, we're in the
Yeah.
generation of millennials, and a lot of them, or us, or whoever, you know, and you can argue millennial isn't a real thing. I get it, but look, the youth of today, every generation has always said the youth these days are so entitled.
Yeah.
They don't want to work for their money. Every generation said that, and that's no different here. You got kids who complain about it. It's
Yeah.
always gonna be that way.
Yeah.
And this game goes against the grain, so
Yep.
you can get more.
Yeah. So with that said, there's also the flip side of this, which we have to kind of talk about as well. Is the quality of the game too experience driven?
You mean instead of being able to quantify what you've done, it's
Mhm.
more what you take away. Yeah, the only rewards are really cosmetic,
Yeah.
and it's the fun time you had with your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or screwing over another group while you're by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that is part of it, but I think that is exactly why I liked it, why I
Mhm.
liked Sea of Thieves. The only reason I got Game Pass and downloaded it again is not because it's a lot of fun to just go and play for hours and hours by yourself and get absorbed in the story. It's an experiential thing.
Yeah.
You know, you go to the theme park with your family, you're not going to come back and have a great philosophical conversation about what it all meant.
Right.
It's just fun.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
And
you're making
that's
memories.
what this is.
Dad
It's like
threw
a
up on
theme
the roller
park,
coaster.
going to the beach, hitting the lake with the sea-doos. Yeah, that's what this is like.
Yeah.
So it's a different feel of game.
Yeah, for sure.
So long term, what's some things you'd like to see? Because we talked about it, just touched on it briefly about the bones of the game, the bones. So what would you like to see long term that can keep the game not? I mean, because it can be a little repetitive, especially when you start thinking about like, oh, I'm just getting treasure after treasure after treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you think could be added to the game?
Well, something we talked about in our chat earlier was clans. We started off as a clan on a mobile game, and developed from into Destiny, into multiple games. That would be really amazing, and to have some kind of reward system for your clan based upon XP. That it's purely cosmetic, of course, but it adds an extra level of camaraderie, camaraderie.
Thaddeus can't has words.
I can't have what? And I think it's going to add a lot more depth. Filling in those people that may question the full $60 value. But yeah, it'll just do what it's doing now, but amplify it. Bring people together to have a butt ton of fun.
Yeah.
Booty ton of fun.
A metric butt ton.
Metric
I
butt
like
ton.
But
Literally.
Yeah, I agree. I think more social features in the game would be a good place to start, because I know content is king and it's also hard to create, inexpensive. Obviously, I'd love to have more characters, more islands, more map, more stories, messages in bottles, missions, quests, different creatures, secret quests, like content, content, content. You can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Freaking story. There's not open source, sorry, public domain material out there. Friggin' Treasure Island's public domain. Go use it.
right.
There's like 3 books.
Yep.
Ooh, what about Atlantis? Also, Atlantis Rises.
Ooh.
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 Wasn't that Disney?
I don't know.
It's history.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not
Really
really telling me
history.
that you think Atlantis is history.
It's free. It's
Thaddeus.
history.
Yes, it's proven history. I took that in my Atlantis government class.
You had one too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so the Atlantis, that would be something interesting to bring into Sea of Thieves. you
Yeah.
know? Different yeah, I just want other stuff that you can read, hear voice acting, and actually put a little critical thinking in there. Some pirate lore. They could throw some pirate history in there. There's a lot of cool characters and happenings and stuff, and I don't know how much they are or aren't inspired by reality with this game,
hmm
but they could definitely take some inspirations from it.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Have some kind of like ghost ship like the Black Pearl
Oh.
that roams the sea as being a, kind of like the Kraken. It'll randomly attack you. You got to fend it off somehow. That'd
Yeah.
be kind of cool.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if there's really a way for them to determine or show off if you're like an especially aggressive pirate, and if you've taken out like
Oh,
50
yeah.
other
Yeah.
people in one life, but maybe there's a target put on your head by a
Ooh.
vengeful ghost or spirit, or
What if
maybe
you? Yeah. What if you
open up
had
a
on
new
your,
island or something?
on your sail like
Yeah,
ships that are crossed off with skull and crossbones for how many ships you've sunk?
right,
Ooh.
right.
You know.
I mean, there could be something like that. All the rewards in the game are cosmetic, as far as I know, besides a couple tiny functional things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think expanding on that a little bit would
Yeah.
be great.
You know, and some of the things I would really, really like to see that I think, and this is why I say it's a $60 game we were going back to earlier, and how it enables play rather than gameplay, is that they could add so much stuff with clans, with raids, with seasons.
Oh, yeah,
I
sure.
mean, there is so much stuff that that could be added to the game. And I feel like with the way that they've chat, hey guys, seriously blowing it up over there in the stream. Thank you so much, guys, from the Shed team. But I was just gonna say, I think there's the bones are so good that I think they could easily add content, and that kind of brings us into our next point here. And
Yeah.
we're Circuit and myself have a lot to say on this, and I'm sure Thaddeus does too. But there's a little something that was out on Forbes, and
Oh yeah, so we got a shots fired submission.
Yeah.
today. That was the first place I saw the article, actually, from X1SG Chris.
yeah. So I'm just gonna say this quote from Joe Neat, and then we'll get into our man Paul Tassie's article here. And Joe Neat says this, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He says, "Sea of Thieves is designed from the ground up to be a game that grows and evolves. We will release new cosmetic options ongoing as part of that, alongside new mechanics and ways to play. Our focus for launch is on delivering a great initial experience, and as we move beyond launch, we'll be assessing and reacting to player feedback across the areas of the game, and we are working with the community throughout the development of Sea of Thieves, and that will continue in exactly the same manner beyond launch." So,
Basically the same thing the guy's been saying for 2 years, though, to be fair.
yeah, exactly. He's been saying that from the get-go.
Yeah,
Yeah, no secret.
that's a big part of this game is that kind of philosophy.
Yep. Yeah. So to me, it feels like they got the great bones. They're just getting their feet under them. They're launching the game, and now there's so much stuff. But then you have something like Paul Tassie's article that comes out and says it's only 10% of a game.
Oh, that guy. He's so special.
It said a lot more than that.
Yeah, he was pretty much butthurt because he had a solo experience, and the other people in the game were being pirates in a pirate game. What? I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
You got your ship stolen? Welcome to Sea of Thieves. It's on the title.
So he had a negative
Sorry.
experience in Sea of Thieves. Yeah, it happens. We all have. We all had negative experience in the Dark Zone, which he also compared Sea of Thieves to the Dark Zone. But I think our major issue with the Dark Zone is that there were different states. There were people who you were supposed to be able to tell were on a rampage in there, and they're rogue, and there are other people you're supposed to be able to tell you might be nice. Why differentiate? In Sea of Thieves, everybody's the enemy.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to say, like, there's a couple of reviews that have come out today that basically are saying playing solo is impossible. But I know I can only speak from experience, and I played 2 days solo because I was sick one day at home with nothing to do. So I played solo while everyone was at work. But I saw maybe 2 ships the whole time I was playing solo, and not one of them came over and tried to steal my loot. Probably because they didn't see me, because I was trying to be sneaky.
Right.
Being sneaky mule, yeah.
Like
It
a
helps.
ninja.
Yeah.
Go blow out your lanterns, people. Are you sailing around at night with your lanterns on, you dummies? Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. And play
Hey,
yourself.
They
guys!
can see you from the horizon.
Yeah.
Baby Ruth.
I don't know, man. I mean, Baby Ruth. Yeah. So, I mean, okay. So give me your initial thoughts on
Yeah.
all
So
this.
if I can, I prepared a couple notes that I'm going to use as bullet points here because this article did something to my brain.
Triggered.
Circuit's like,
Yeah.
he had the little, it looked like his vein was popping out, and he was
The
like,
anime vein in the side of your head. Yeah. Which really, it's just like, is anybody surprised that this came out of Paul Tassi, I guess.
No. No.
And look, I'm not
Captain
trying to
Sea
say-
Salt.
Yeah, salty, right.
yeah.
I don't hold anything against the guy. He might even be a cool guy. All I know about him is what I read on Forbes.
Yeah.
And what I know about him from reading about him on Forbes is that he's been very vocal about disliking Xbox in the past. He got a red ring of death years ago that he's never gotten over, and that kind of discredits
I'm still mad.
what
I'm
should
so
be an
mad.
unbiased write-up, in my opinion. But anybody who read it can tell it's not really unbiased, and so let's just treat it fairly. Also Forbes. I hate Forbes. I hate Forbes website because you have to. They tell you to turn off
Oh.
ad blockers just to access the content, and then people get malware from turning off the ad. don't do that. Figure out another way to make money, guys. And putting an ad and then saying, "Oh, here's an inspirational quote." That's really what it was. No.
False.
No.
So pro tip on that, when you load in and you see it still loading, hit the X to stop it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I
then
it's
can
gonna
click
get you.
that X
Yep.
straight away, man. As
Yep.
fast as I can. But another thing, Forbes, I thought that was a magazine that came out in like the early 1900s to help people, like business people, investors,
Yeah.
marketers, right? It was. That's what it's supposed to. It's called the capitalist tool, right?
Yeah.
That was their saying forever, and they acquired a small group of writers from another website that happened to write about gaming, probably because they thought it was smart to diversify, because they're business people. Anyways, they got Paul. And I'm sure he helps some people with their business skills, but I think usually he just incites an angry crowd.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I saw it with Destiny so many times. He does do some helpful things. You know, I've not always disagreed with the guy,
Yeah.
just usually.
Yeah.
And I'm also bothered that at the bottom of every article are big links to his sci-fi books that he writes and sells. So I feel like you're doubly encouraged to produce clickbait when that's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, enough about Forbes and Tassie himself. Well, I'll continue about Tassie. For the Sea of Thieves piece,
Tell me more.
I think it's opportunism. Okay.
Okay.
He really only comes out to play when there's drama, and
Yeah.
this is not any different. He claims Sea of Thieves is no more than 10% of a finished game. What in the hell gives you the right to decide that a game is not finished? I don't like watching basketball. That doesn't mean it's not a finished game because I'm not satisfied. I didn't like it. It's so presumptuous and arrogant.
Well, how do you come up with like, 10%?
Like the guy who made up 10% of your brain 100 years ago that was proven false.
Yeah.
I don't know. He pulled it out of his butt because he has no clue. He doesn't work on video games.
This number looks good.
10%.
10 sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, 20 is a little too nice. 12,
How low can I go with 2 digits? 10.
10's nice and round.
Just the
Yeah.
tip, 10%.
Lowest of the 2-digit numbers. Yeah.
Mm.
And so the title of the article is Sea of Thieves. Hold on, what was it again? I didn't even type down it, but it had the feature the 10% figure in the title. That's to get you to click.
Yeah.
And then the very first paragraph, it sounds like he wrote it months ago and just waited for Sea of Thieves to come out so he could
He
go
was stewing on it. Hmm.
take a dump on it.
Yeah.
Nice and steamy. He's talking about how the Xbox fans already have a pre-defense, which is just another classic provocation habit of Paul Tassi, because he doesn't like Xbox. And he's more of a gamer than a journalist, maybe. Because his bias towards Sony is always obvious.
When you say gamer, you mean it's a loose term here with this guy.
Well,
Anyway,
it's a relative term. More of a gamer than I think he is an unbiased journalist.
Yeah. You can tell he definitely favors the Sony brands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. And you know, there are writers out there. We have opinions on our website. It's totally okay to put your opinion out there. But when you go to Forbes, you have like an expectation, I think, and that expectation went out the window a few years ago
Mm-hmm.
to me. And just Sea of Thieves, the game. We haven't even gotten to talk about it because I'm just ragging on Paul, man. Ragging on Paul.
Yeah.
And it's a big sandbox, and he jumped in, and he's the one who sat in the cat turd. Okay, that doesn't mean all sandboxes are bad.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's going on. He got a bad dish, and he gave that restaurant a bad review on Yelp.
They
and
stole
he's
my
never
shit.
Going back,
I might have words.
never going back.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's ever really played in a real sandbox either.
probably.
But the metaphor works. Okay.
Well, I'm not trying to rag on Destiny here, but like
Yeah.
literally the
Well,
next
it's easy.
day he wrote about Destiny. So,
Yeah. Wait, still?
so we'll just leave it as that.
What did he write about Destiny?
I don't know.
Okay, just
I didn't
something-
even read it. I saw it and I was like, huh.
Well, here I'll close up with I totally know why Paul might be disappointed with Sea of Thieves or why anybody might be a little disappointed, but it's not, like I said before, it's not due to deception or false advertisement. Okay? You don't get to project your wants and needs onto someone else's thing and then bitch about it being incomplete. Like, we complain a lot, but, EA Battlefront, one of the biggest things we complain about was released in an incomplete state, and we called it out like that, but it was true, like verifiably true based on interviews.
Yep.
Okay, Sea of Thieves, they've always said, "Hey, this is like a work in progress. Whatever, bro. We're just sailing the seas, living in England, like it's an awesome life. You're probably just jealous you don't have it, and I am, because how fun would it be
Yeah.
to make a pirate game? Could it be better? Yeah. Does it need more content? Yeah. Better grouping and social mechanics? Yeah. I wish you could jump into someone's game mid-game and not have to go all the way
Go
back
all the
out
way
to the
out.
menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also understand that it's a server issue. Maybe they don't have ways to protect like how many people do what and when and where. I really don't know. I'm not a game designer.
Right.
Anyways, like you said, great bones. But it's a playground. It's a sandbox, and I don't see anybody wondering how the story in Minecraft is going on.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
You
It's
guys
like-
can't see it because my video feed, but I did drop a mic right now.
You did. That's
Minecraft
actually a
is
great
good. I know
comparison.
Minecraft has a lot more stuff than Sea of Thieves, but come on, it didn't start that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying, man, and why I go back to it's just like, it enables play rather than gameplay. And like as gamers, we haven't had that in a really long time. And so when we go into a game, we're like, what's the gameplay like? Rather than, did you have fun?
Well, yeah, so many people in our age group just look over titles like Minecraft that seem more like a playground or sandbox, and I think they're gonna tend to do it with Sea of Thieves too, if they don't have the right experience. And so I hope people would open up their minds enough and get in with some friends to have an enjoyable experience in it.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I think the only thing I would really say about Sea of Thieves is it's going to be very experience driven. Like one night you may have a great time, one night you may not. But you know what?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar to me, like a little game called PUBG.
Hey, some good, some bad. That's life, people.
Yeah.
Life ain't fair. Neither is pirating.
Yeah. Right.
It's mostly unfair. As a matter of fact, for every one complaint you see on Twitter about someone who says, "Oh, I was just carrying my chest and my 15 skulls I collected to the vendor and someone sunk my ship," there's 10 comments from people saying, "Oh, sorry, that was probably me." Because that's what you do in this game. If we show up to port and we're about to carry some chests and we see your boat there, we're going to shoot it before we get off.
There is no parlay.
No. You parlay, you come on our boat, we're going to try to kill you.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, man. Just have fun. I mean, I saw one dude, and I think he was trying to come up and be like all nice because he was like flashing his lantern, and he was in a one-man boat. And I think it was me and Nate, but we just took him out.
Yeah, it's really hard because that one guy, he might have a barrel of powder that he's going to take on your boat and blow you up with, or blow himself up and take your boat.
Yeah.
You don't trust them. Just
Nope.
don't trust them.
Yeah.
If you like them that much, add them to your friends list and make a new game with them.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys before we move on to Ask Analog and Shots Fired, is there any other things you guys would think would go great with Sea of Thieves or that you'd like to see added into it? I mean, we talked about clans, raids, things like that. What's some other stuff?
I've heard the storms are pretty intense. I would love to see like a hurricane or a tsunami wave.
Ooh.
Oh, an actual wave. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
See, and that could be a type of event thing. Obviously there's a Kraken.
A global event.
Kraken.
Did you say Kraken?
Kraken.
Betty Crocker over here?
Boy, where are you from?
Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a way the Texans are supposed to pronounce Kraken?
Kraken, man. It's a Kraken. Betty Crocker over there in the waves.
It's a Crocker.
He's
Big
gonna
tentacles
butter
with
my
wooden
toast.
spoons.
Butter my toast.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you could have a big sea creature, like the Nessie that someone thinks they found on the
Carrot.
beach today.
Yeah. I saw that.
That is not a Loch Ness monster.
That is not a Loch Ness monster. I
The
need
first
to.
one wasn't a Loch Ness monster. Okay, so
Yeah.
they get stuff, and yeah, a big sea creature could cause a big tsunami, or cause the waters to recede, and then you suddenly have a lot more land to walk onto, or
Ooh.
maybe there's a faction of pirates, or hey, the feds. What if the British military come into our waters and we all have to team up to take them out?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry,
I'm
not,
excited
the
now.
Navy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about civilians?
Yeah. Some other NPCs in there.
Shipping vessels,
Yeah.
people who are
Ooh.
immigrating from a country to another place. Like, there's a lot of people who need to use the water.
So that's one way they can offset a little bit of the PvP in the Sea of Thieves is have like,
Add more characters for you to kill
yeah, just
that aren't
some
people. Yeah.
NPCs that are in the water that have like a Spanish flag or like a UK or England flag, something like that, and you can just go take them out and loot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my worry is that all of these things we're talking about, if Ubisoft is going to put all this stuff into their new pirate game and it'll be ready on day one, and if people will go look
But
at that and say, huh,
yeah.
that one's done.
But if there's ships only, and you actually don't get to exit a ship, I
Yeah.
get your point. I get your point.
Yeah, I don't know the full extent of what all they're going to let you do in that game. What is Skull and Bones? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very similar. It looks very, very similar to Sea of Thieves.
Sea
So.
of Thieves in the world of Black Flag is what it looks like, with the art style of that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and move into our next segment, which is Shots Fired, where we ask you guys, the listeners and the viewers, to send us your questions or comments with the hashtag AskAnalog. And you can do it either through Twitter, Discord, wherever you can find us. So Thaddeus Prime, our bro here, actually sent us a good Ask Analog before we knew he'd be on the cast with us. So we can get your opinion as well, Thaddeus. And he says,
Yeah.
who would win in a fight, or who would win in a fight to the finish? John Wick or Jason Bourne?
Ooh.
Oh, it's tough, man. That's really
Yeah.
tough because I feel like Jason Bourne might be a better fighter, but I don't think John Wick can die,
I know. It's like, dude,
especially if you mess with his pet.
Boom. There you go.
don't mess with this dog.
That's like Super Saiyan John Wick.
Have you seen-
Right.
have y'all both seen John Wick 2?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the second one.
Oh my gosh,
I
dude.
know. I guess I gotta make some time.
You think the first one was good? The second one was freaking incredible, dude.
All right.
I gotta go John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think right there too. I think what you said, Jason Bourne's probably a better fighter hand to hand, but Jason has to get there because John Wick,
Yeah.
he's a machine with a pistol alone. I mean, Keanu Reeves alone trains that badass in real life. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you add the kill the
Keanu Reeves
dog.
character will probably
Yeah.
kill you,
Yeah,
no matter what he's in.
You add the kill the dog moment in there. I mean,
dude.
it's done. It's done.
And Wick's like the guy that trained to take out people like Jason Bourne. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
you know,
That's true.
yeah.
Good point. Dude, that picture of Thanos,
You beat me to
they
it.
told him the Infinity Stone was in this dog, and he was like, "Oh, that's it." And then John Wick goes, "Hey, where's my dog?"
Thanos is like, oh, he knows he's
What?
dead.
Yeah, yeah,
Too funny.
yeah. So our next Ask Analog here is from our bro Darth Loki, and he says, Game Informer just announced that Witcher 3 as their greatest game of all time. After 200 plus hours of my second playthrough, I think I agree. Thoughts?
Go ahead, Neil. You take the first one on this one.
I couldn't finish it, man.
Yeah, this was a better question to have Kurt on the podcast, and he's actually
Jeez, Kurt, where are you?
absent right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he can address it next podcast, but I think he'll probably just say something to the degree of, heck yeah.
Yeah. I played about half of it, and it was pretty stinking awesome. Just how in depth, how smooth, crisp, visually appealing, and the story and the animations and dialogue was way up there. Way up there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't like the game. The thing that was a turnoff for me, I just didn't know what was going on because I didn't play the first and second one, so I just didn't feel
Right.
as involved in the choices. So I was like, I don't know who I'm gonna pick, this lady or this lady. I don't care.
Mule excuses.
You know?
That's the only reason I've never played The Witcher 3, because I played The Witcher 2 for about an hour, and I could not for the life of me, and please, guys, educate me later. I couldn't for the life of me change what button my skills were on. Like your hotkey, I
Yeah.
was like, are these built in, or am I just supposed to deal with this? Do I really have to go to the menu
Get
between
good, bro.
every skill? I just got pissed and turned it off.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was just that simple. And I know a lot of you are going, "Oh my God, you're missing out on such a great game." Okay, yeah, probably. I've missed a lot of great stuff in my life. Sorry. Maybe
Yeah.
sometime I'll endeavor to go back. If it's that important to you, tell me what I did wrong,
Yeah.
because I could not play that thing. I don't know. And I'm usually pretty good with that stuff. Like I went through the menus, I was pressing different buttons. Like, where's the radial? Is there anything? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty game. Like, it was gorgeous when I mean, I played
Mm-hmm.
probably 4 or 5 hours into it, and it was a pretty game, really pretty game. So,
And those 4K pictures that came out later.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So our bro Scarecrow21 has an Ask Analog here, and he says, "Beep boop. The second beep has been made by CD Projekt Red during their first quarter live stream this morning. If you haven't seen it, check out this link." And so he goes off in saying that there's 3 E's on the corner that are in green. So he asks, is this a hint at showing off at E3? What are your thoughts?
I'd say that's a pretty good subtle hint.
Yeah? You think so? You think it's going to be there?
I mean, this would be the time to
Yeah.
show at least a solid tease.
Yeah. Some gameplay?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That'd be some tight pants stuff right there.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't think that 3 E's next to each other is subtle exactly. I think that means they're gonna be at E3. Hold on to your pants.
Hold on to your pants. Or better yet, just take them off.
Just take them off. Yeah.
Just don't wear pants.
Just take them off. Yeah. So our next shots fired here is from Johnny Cage 85, and he says, "There's been a lot of game remasters lately and a lot more coming soon. How do you feel about game remasters, and what games would you like to see remastered next?" You know, I think it would be really, really cool. And I'm going to go way back here. Now I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was an OG Xbox game, Advent Rising. I loved that game. If anyone had ever played Advent Rising, you know what I'm talking about, because it was like a mix of Star Wars and like these crazy force powers and just like sci-fi, like this crazy off the wall sci-fi. So, but I loved that game. That game would be amazing remastered because with the engines they have now, it could look fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got 2. The first one is probably the one that really needs to happen. Twisted Metal needs to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I played so much of that game. The second one would be Army of Two.
Oh, yeah.
A new iteration, maybe just a third story perhaps, would be great because that was a really fun FPS co-op game. Or was
Yeah.
it FPS? Third person. It was great either way.
Third
Yeah.
person, I believe. It was sort of one of those games that came out after like Gears of War paved that path, I think, for like the co-op,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
couch co-op,
Yeah.
which was, people were all, I want to play online, and they're like, nah, you're gonna sit next to your friend on the couch, and it's gonna be fun, and you're gonna make the stuff bleed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I still get the craving to get into Perfect Dark or GoldenEye these days, man. And if there was a
GoldenEye.
proper current gen remake of one of them,
GoldenEye. Oh,
yeah, GoldenEye. Like, where's the James Bond license? Like, I get it, it's not money, but if you guys made GoldenEye, whoever could make that happen, get off your ass and do it. Oh wait, that was rare at that point in time. Now I don't know if they still hold any sort of licensure to make
Yeah.
James Bond content, or if they could re-release or remaster it, or if it would even be worth it. But I bet a lot of people would jump on that,
Yeah.
especially if it had good online multiplayer.
Some people in chat are saying Star Fox VR.
VR, okay. Star Fox 64 is probably one of my top 10 games.
Yeah.
I would try it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or, you know what? A new Star Fox where he stays in the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't get out of the
Don't
plane.
get out
I don't
and
want to
just-
run around and play Star Fox where he's running around. Just remake Star Fox 64. Because guess what? It was a remake of the original Star Fox in the first place.
Yeah.
If they make another one, they're gonna just remake it. So
Yeah.
accept
Yeah.
it because it's good.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So my bro here, I am Matt Man, is the next Ask Analog, and he's on Twitter, and he says, how is it? Since I paid money for it and have yet to been able to get in the game. And how is it? And he's talking about Sea of Thieves. So how is it he can't get in the game when he paid money for it?
Yeah, connection problems were real, especially on the first night. So I was able to get into a single player sloop, single queue, even though I was in a party with a couple of our buddies. We could not group queue, and there's still been shaky problems with that since the game came out. But like our buddy Jason said, they're just backing up trucks of servers.
Yep.
They're getting it sorted out, and they have the backing of Microsoft, so it isn't an if, it's when. And I haven't had any problems since the first day or two, honestly, myself.
Yeah. I mean, I had one issue originally where we couldn't get in, so we just switched over to PUBG for a little bit. But Matt, man, bro, 1 million people logging in 48 hours. It's going to happen. Doesn't matter what game it is.
Wait, a million or a billion?
Was it a billion?
I don't know.
It was a
What
million.
did you say?
I thought it was a million.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, me too. Okay.
I heard a billion, but
If it was billion, it would have just burned the mofo down.
in today's news, Rare is burned down.
Rare is in
Microsoft
ashes.
explodes due to server overload.
Dear to 1 billion people logging in.
And, Matt, man, I'm sorry if this isn't true, but I'm detecting maybe a single grain of salt on your tweet. And it may just be because I've seen a bunch of other people talking about it, but when there were login issues, there were a lot of folks out there calling for Rare to allow people who paid $60 for the game to get in first, as if they were VIPs, and everybody on Game Pass would have to wait in like a secondary line. Okay, well, look, segregation ain't cool. Plus, it's not our fault you paid $60 for it, is it?
Should have Game Passed it, bro.
Should have done Game Pass.
Yeah.
Whoop. Sorry, Matt, man, I love you, but you could have got it for free.
He is my PUBG bro when it comes to our BG rivals on Saturdays. So,
Yeah.
He's got the skills.
got the skills.
See, he's the kind of guy who could take playing Sea of Thieves and not get too, salty about it for too long.
He just drink a
Once he
lot
could
of
actually
beer.
log in.
He'd drink a lot of beer and have a lot of fun. That's what he'd do.
The life of a pirate.
Yeah, yeah. So our last one here, and if you guys in chat have any of them, we'll answer any Ask Analogs you have here. And it's from our bro, Carpe Adam 79. He says, what would you tell Sea of Thieves noobs about playing the game that would help them have the most fun playing it? Hashtag Ask Analog.
Get
Playing
your
party.
friends- Yeah, get your friends in.
Yep.
And really, that's the first and last step, if you ask me, because it's so much fun to figure out how everything works with your buds.
Yep.
And once you get that down, you put some hours into it. You've experienced, navigating the map, understanding quest and what to do, fighting, avoiding being killed, all the mechanics. Then maybe try a solo whenever your bros aren't on, or you want to just do whatever. Yeah, go solo after you party up.
And this is not typical Mule here. So, if I was enjoying this, that you can probably enjoy it as well. And the day I was sick, which I think it was actually on release day, which was Tuesday, I wasn't feeling good. I had a stomach bug, so I didn't want some.
Sure you did.
I did.
I don't feel good, boss.
Man, I had some bad Chick-fil-A, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
Spicy chicken sandwich did you bad.
Eats bad
Dude,
sushi the night before on
it
purpose.
did me bad. It was real bad. Oh man, I forgot to tell my dad's story about. I'll tell it later. So, so, I decided to get in the ship, and I'd already done the first like 3 treasure hunts, right, with the maps. And I logged back in a little bit later that day, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get in a ship, and I'm just gonna sail around and just explore and be low key. And I really enjoyed it. I felt like stress just rolling off of me.
Mm-hmm.
I was just chilling. I think I checked out a couple of shipwrecks, and I felt good. I didn't earn any loot, but I was just chilling. So very characteristic mule. But hey, do that as well, man. It's fun to just chill in games too.
Yeah, I think another tip, I guess, once you know what's going on, if you're questioning the morality of other players, again, what I said, just trust your crew, stick to your crew, because you just don't know if you can trust another person you're going to walk past, if they're going to help you go back or take your stuff, sink your ship. So if you're going in Sea of Thieves, if you haven't played it yet, then you don't know this, but you will eventually get quests or missions, and you go out and do tasks or obtain things, and then you have to bring them back to a hub or port type of island, which there are
Which
a
is
few
not
of.
a safe zone.
Correct. It is not actually a safe zone. You can still be killed in that area. And these are also where people spawn. So if you're coming back from a journey, you've got 5 treasure chests down in the bottom of your ship, and you're going to take them to a hub to sell them, and you see someone parked there, probably go to the next one.
Yeah, move along.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it seems like, oh, it's one boat, no big deal. Be prepared to fight.
Yeah. So our bro here in chat, Jumbaloo82, says, ask Analog, best Sea of Thieves moment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can do that right now, and it's related to what I just said. Like I said, I could only do solo queue when I was hanging out with Underdog and Scarecrow on the night it released. We downloaded the game, and I got on, saw them. Oh, cool. And I was on till 1 o'clock, and all I could do was solo queue, so I did that. But the next day, I got in, and I queued into a big galleon with a full crew and was match made with other people I didn't even know. Cool thing is, they tell you need a mic, and they're like, you're just going to be better with a microphone. And 3 out of the 4 of us had mics,
Yeah.
I want to say. And the other guy was like listening, and he was using the chat commands and communicating with us and everything. And so we went around and we knocked out probably 4 or 5 quests, and we rolled back to the hub, and there was a boat there, and we all kind of stopped for a second and said, well, should someone stay here so they don't come get our boat? And we were like, well, if they send more than one person, they can take you out then.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of stopped for a second and said, almost at the same time, came to the realization, well, let's just blow them up. And we all loaded cannons up, and we started shooting them. And we sunk their boat. We saw them running back from the vendors, came to our boat, and we killed them.
Yeah, that's
and they could have been nice guys, and they didn't deserve it. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But
but you had to be a pirate in a pirate game.
They should have left someone on the boat, or they should have had someone watching. Because we shot the top half of the boat for like 5 minutes, not knowing it doesn't even do anything.
Oh yeah, you
guys shoot the boat under the water to make it leak.
Yeah.
You know what would have been funny if that would happen to be Paul Tazzy.
I hope it was, Paul.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh, you know what? Wait, yeah. Okay. I hope it was Paul.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your best Sea of Thieves moments?
Mine would have to be, we came to an island, and me and our crew was Scarecrow, Jumbaloo, and I think Rayman at the time. It was actually a wolf. We're trying to get into a cave. Well, we thought was a cave. And so we were launching ourselves one at a time, trying to get into this spot. Nobody could make it happen. And finally, I made it happen. And it felt pretty good. Like, hey, I flew through the air like Superman in this whole, 3-point shot. Other good moment, which is more good for Scarecrow, was all of a sudden our ship blows up and I'm flying away, and kind of found out I just got friendly fired by Scarecrow. First, like, dude, what the crap, man? Well, don't sink the ship. Repair the ship. We have loot. Once I knew the loot was safe, I could laugh it off.
Yeah, yeah. What's going to be funny is you're going to have to start paying every time you die now too. So
I hope it's not too much though.
That's going to be fun, man.
Well, that might keep some people who are just, like the jokers out there who just watch the world burn.
Yeah.
That'll discourage them
Yeah.
a little bit, unless it's like 2 coins per death or something. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I haven't got to play with teams very much yet. So I have one that was in the final beta, and I think it was a final beta, and then one that was at last couple of days, and that was when Nate and I were sailing in one of the smaller ships together, and that one guy was trying to be all nice.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, he followed us for the longest time trying to catch up to us, and we got to the spot in where we have to get loot off of this island, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna shoot him. So I blew him up. He went on the other side of the island, and
I'm bored of this guy.
I was like, I'm done. So sunk his ship. I'm on the island. I'm like, oh, Nate, his ship is sinking on the other side of the island. And then Nate's like, are you on top of the island with a lamp flashing it? And I was like, no. He's like, oh, that guy's up there. So as he's standing there with the lamp flashing it at Nate, I come up behind him and I'm just like, whack.
Oh.
So that one, and the other one I have to say was in the beta when we were playing. And we had this big, huge battle. And Nate actually took a big, huge thing of gunpowder and put it on the boat and sunk it. Like, that was freaking epic, man.
Nice.
Yeah. That
Nice.
was some fun times. So,
Oh, one more pro tip. If you guys go into your menu, into your crew settings, you can scuttle your ship from right there. It'll sync your ship. You can do it remotely.
what?
It'll just
That is
sync
true.
it so you can do a respawn. Because if you're getting griefed and there's a guy who's on an island who's like killing you every time, you can scuttle and it'll cause your ship to respawn, and it's usually going to be on one of the other islands.
That's awesome, man.
So
You
it
watch
is a
him
really
swim
good way
back.
to get out of a kind of crummy situation.
Yeah.
Pro tips by Circuit 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. I think that just about wraps up the podcast. Really appreciate all you guys hanging out in Mixer with us, watching us live here. So I just want to thank all you guys for watching and listening. And don't forget, if you like our podcast, check out the cool cats at ninjapancake.com. And if you would, like us on Facebook, leave us a review on iTunes. You can follow us all on Twitter. You got at Circuit8, at Dirty Bombs. He's not here, but we still got to give him some love.
I still love him.
And all of us at Mulehorn Gaming. And remember, guys, when in doubt,
Blow it up! Another explosion noise.